Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimakung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 9, Section 6 of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
As.
Ah.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Author Conan Doyle. Chapter 9, Section 6. And then the doctor was kind enough to bring me along here. We both sat in silence for some little time after listening to this extraordinary narrative, which he placed his cuttings. Here is an advertisement which will interest you, said he. It appeared in all the papers about a year ago. Listen to this. Wast. On the 9th inst. Wister. Sherma hailing. Age 26. A hydraulic engineer. Left his lodgings at 10 o'clock at night. And has not been heard of since. Was dressed in etc. etc. Ah. That represents the last time that the Colonel needed to have his mission overhauled. Good heavens, cried my patient. Undoubtedly. It is quite clear that the Colonel was a cool and desperate man. He was absolutely determined that nothing should stand in the way of his little game. Like those out-and-out pirates, he will leave no survivor from a captured ship. But every moment now is precious. Some 3 hours or so afterwards, we were all in the train together, bound from Reading to the little Berkshire village. There were Sherlock Holmes, the hydraulic engineer, Inspector Bradstreet, of Scotland Yard, a plainclothesman, and myself, busy with his compasses drawing a circle with Iford for its centre. There you are, said he. That circle is drawn at a radius of 10 miles from the village. The place we want must be somewhere near that line. You said 10 miles. I think they must have done so. I have a confused memory. Too. What I cannot understand, said I. Gordon. I hardly think that likely. Well, we shall soon clear up all that, said Bradstreet. Well, I have drawn my circle. I think I could lay my finger on it, said Holmes quietly. Really? Ah, cried the inspector. You have formed your opinion. Come. Anne. We shall see who agrees with you. I say it is south. And I say, said my patient. I am for west, remarked the plainclothesman. And I am for north, say. Because there are no hills there. Come, cried the inspector. Often. It's a very pretty diversity of opinion. We have boxed the compass among us. Well. S. Yugang. This is my point. He placed his finger in the centre of the circle. But the 12-mile drive for Gustafeli. 6 out and 6 back. Nothing simpler. You say you that the horse was fresh and glossy when you got in. Indeed, it is a likely ruse enough, observed Bradstreet thoughtfully. None at all, said Holmes. They are coiners on a large scale. Inspector. They have been turning out half-crowns by the thousand. We even traced them as far as Reading, but could get no farther. Hultons. But now, thanks to this lucky chance. But the inspector was mistaken. For those criminals were not destined to fall into the hands of justice. Immense destruction over the landscape. A house on fire, Asbart Street, as the train steamed off again on its way. Yes. So, said the station master. I hear that it was during the night. So, but it has got worse. Doctor. Tell me, broke in the engineer. His doctor. Picture German. Very thin. With a lawn. The station master laughed heartily. So, doctor. Picture is an Englishman. And there isn't a man in the parish who has a better lined waistcoat. He has a gentleman staying with him. A patient. As I understand. Who is a foreigner. Of the fire. They were atop to Doyle. And there was a great widespread whitewashed building in front of us. Spatting fire out of reaching window. Adar. That's it, cried Hatterley, in intense excitement. There is the gravel drive. And there are the rose bushes where I lay. Well, at least, said Holmes, you have had your revenge upon them. There can be no question that it was your lamp which, when it was crushed in the press, set fire to the wooden walls at the time. Now keep your eyes open in this crowd for your friends of last night. And Holmes' came to be realised. Beautiful woman. The sinister German. Or the morose Englishman. Bulky boxes driving rapidly in the direction of Reading. But there all traces of the fugitives disappeared. And even Holmes' ingenuity failed ever to discover the least clue as to their whereabouts. The 5 men had been matched at the strange arrangements which they had found within the second floor about sunset. However, their efforts were at last successful, and they subdued the flames, but not before the roof had fallen in, and the whole place been reduced to such absolute ruin that, save some twisted cylinders and iron piping, not a trace remained of the machinery which had cost our unfortunate acquaintance so dearly. Large masses of nickel and everything were discovered stored in an outhouse, but no coins were to be found. The mould, which told us a very plain tale. He had evidently been carried down by 2 persons, one of whom had remarkably small feet and the other unusually large ones. On the whole, it was most probable that the silent Englishman, being less bold or less murderous than his companion, had assisted the woman to bear the unconscious man out of the way of danger. London. It has been a pretty business for me. To be continued.